Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey, hello, and welcome to the AHA channel, the channel that makes you go AHA. And my name is Asi. Today I'm going to do a storytelling, and just like the episode of the storytelling that I have uploaded here before on my channel, I also wrote the story myself, and I called this story today The Pleasing Manipulation. It is about the king who always puts himself on the first place. And the moral lesson of this story is that what sounds pleasing today might not please you forever. So do not make any decision based on whether something is pleasing or not. So stay tuned to find out more about the story. The Pleasing Manipulation. Once upon a time, in a kingdom, there lived a king, the family, his ministers, and the peasants. It was a bad year for the kingdom because most of the peasants suffered from hunger. The king, his family, and his ministers, however, did not. They lived in a way that a king should do. They had plenty good foods, drinks, clothing, and everything that is good. It took a year for the king to hear that the peasants were suffering from hunger. Tired of being thought as incapable, he finally ordered one of his ministers to overcome this hunger problem. After a month of trying, the minister came to see the king with empty hands. He said, "It's impossible to handle the situation, Your Majesty. I have talked to farmers in this kingdom. They said they couldn't grow rice on their farms, as they have no more seeds to plant. They can't afford them. Then I talked to the stockist to ask why they sell those seeds with so much high price. They said all they're going to get by selling those seeds with lower prices is a loss. Everything is expensive nowadays. I thought it happens because of the high tax we should pay. Your Majesty, I think we should cut off some of it," said he carefully. Imagining the less comfort he would get from the tax cutting off, the king replied, "You're fired. Get out." So then he commanded his next minister to do the same. A month later, he came with the same result. So the king said, "You're fired. Get out." Then he commanded his next minister, who happened to know all the stories of his fellow ministers, to do the same. This time, he knows the king will fire him if he fails. In 2 months, he came with a conclusion after 2 months' observations. "It is the peasants who are wrong, Your Majesty," said he. The king replied, "How come?" "Being such spenders has led them to do this starvation," he answered. "They should have eaten less and saved some seeds when they knew this hunger will come." The king said with satisfaction, "You're right. It is their fault. So what is your solution?" "You can tell them to be creative, Your Majesty. There are many types of plants they can consume," said he confidently. "You're a genius, minister," said the king, complimenting. So then the king finally made an announcement. Due to the starvation that has been happening for so long, hereby I order all the peasants to do a strict diet. You can only eat twice a day. If you can't, find alternative foods. 6 months passed, and more peasants died because of hunger. 9 months passed. The ministers and the king's family began to die. A year passed, and the king died of hunger finally, as he found nothing to eat anymore, despite of the great wealth he still possessed. Alrighty, and that's it, and that is my story. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it is inspiring enough. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.